are a massive part of everything I know nowadays, everything I've learned about growing my agency, sales, negotiation, money, psychology, habits, everything like that I attribute to reading. And books are a massive part of how I was able to grow my agency to the point we're currently at, where we're doing right about 45, 50K a month. And I think it can massively help you as well. But there's a couple main things that we need to talk about to make sure you're getting the most out of it. Because I know a lot of people that do read, but they don't implement any of the knowledge they're reading. So at that point, you're just wasting time. That's the last thing you want to be doing. The last thing you want to be doing is wasting your time, because that's the time you can't get back, right? And so if you're not going to get a positive return on investment out of that time you're going to spend reading a book, then you shouldn't even be reading it in the first place, right? And like a 300, 400 page book, that's going to take you probably 10, 12 hours to read. So that's a lot of time, but you can get a lot out of it. Like you can see right behind me here, I have a stack of books, and a lot of these helped a lot with the knowledge I have now. And every time I'd read a chapter of a book, I would take the knowledge from it, think about how I can implement it, and I would implement it in. And I think it's super, super worthwhile to invest in books. I buy books online if I want the physical copies. I also have a subscription online to a site called Perligo, which is just an online library. It's like $20 a month, and it gives you access to tens of hundreds of thousands of books. And I'll read on there as well. I'll read here. I'll read every day. I try to do at least 30 minutes to an hour, usually right before I'm end of the day, right before I'm about to pass out. I usually read, and that kind of knocks me out. And I'm a very, very big advocate for books, because you're getting the knowledge. It's almost like you have a mentor that you don't need to pay a ton of money for, but you're getting all the knowledge about a certain subject that they've compiled into an easy to navigate book that you can consume. You genuinely have infinite levels of knowledge at your fingertips. Whether it's books or online is huge, right? There's tons of online libraries that you can use to read just any number of books you want to read, and you can get a ton of valuable information from them. Let me see some of these books I have here. Like the one I'm reading right now is absolutely insane, and it's called Reality Transurfing. If you've ever heard of it, I decided to pick up this book because there was a lot of big business people, like Iman in particular, who attributed a lot of their success to this book, and I've been reading it. It's an absolutely insane book. I'm only about a third of the way through, but I've already gained a good amount of valuable knowledge. I've probably spent maybe it's a long book, it's about 800 pages, and I've spent probably 4 hours reading it so far, maybe 5 hours, and I've gotten a lot more knowledge that, in my mind, nets me a positive ROI on the time I spent reading it. And so if you can read something about a book about marketing, and you can get enough knowledge out of that to where it will save you time and make you money in the long run because you know more about marketing now, that's worthwhile. There's a lot of books that have helped me a ton in terms of just navigating life. Reality Transurfing is one already. That's just navigating reality. And then I have other books back here. This is a great one as well. But Stephen Hawking, Brief Answers to the Big Questions. Another book, not specific to business, but great read, right? And it gives you knowledge. This one, massive help in terms of just exactly as it is, Atomic Habits, how to structure habits in your life to be as efficient as possible, grow as a human, improve on the goals you want to achieve. And that's another book where the time I spent reading that netted me a positive ROI in life because I have new knowledge that I can implement. The worst thing you want to do, I call it mental masturbation, where you're reading, or same with YouTube videos or podcasts, whatever it is. You're consuming this knowledge, and in the moment, you're getting these dopamine hits because you're getting valuable knowledge, but then you just don't do anything with it. And then you just keep reading, and you're still in the exact same spot. Knowledge is great, but if you don't take action with it, it's completely pointless. It does nothing for you, right? So you need to take that knowledge you're getting, implement it into whatever you're doing to improve, adapt, overcome. Then you can, anytime I'd run into a problem, I'd read a book, right? I'd always read books. Another one here. One of the first ones I read, 48 Laws of Power. Super good just for business, general business. It's more kind of dark psychology type of stuff, but has a ton of valuable information in it that can really show you how to navigate certain types of people, situations in life, whether it's business or just general life experience, right? You're getting knowledge. Robert Greene's amazing, but you're getting very, very valuable knowledge from somebody who's lived. A lot of authors are usually, over 40 years old, so they have a lot more life experience. Like I'm 20, but somebody who's and if they're older, 2 to 4 times the life experience that you have. And if it's in certain thing like business, let's say you've done 1 year of business. This person's been doing business for 40 years. They have 40 times the experience in this particular subject. and you have access to all the most valuable knowledge that they've consumed and learned over the years of doing this thing that you can read and consume in 12 hours. Like, they're going to pass down 40 years of valuable knowledge and experience to you that you can consume in 12 hours. That's a cheat code, man. That's a cheat code. If you think about it like a video game, that's like you're getting just a ton of experience without have to do it. It's almost like you have hacks, right? It's like you can take the experience from another person in the video game and add it to your character. That's crazy, right? That's when you think about it like that, that's a next level type of way to improve and consume knowledge. This one of the first ones I ever read, Getting to Yes. Negotiation book, right? Super, super good. A lot of the stuff that I learned in there, I used on my sales calls, helped me close my first clients on my agency when I had no prior knowledge on anything. And the biggest thing is I'll read and I'll figure out a way to implement this knowledge. And this has helped me scale my agency. There's certain roadblocks that I hit where reading books genuinely were the thing that made me be able to ascend past that roadblock and go to the next level. And I guarantee if you genuinely implement the stuff that you learn from books, it will help you massively. Let me see. Got some more back here. This one, Mindset, psychology book by Carol Dweck. Super, super big psychologist in the U.S. I'm pretty sure she's from Stanford. It could be wrong. But this is an amazing book. Psychology, right? There's a few main subjects that you want to cover for business. Psychology, persuasion/negotiation, sales, money. Learn about money because that will change your perception on things a lot. Learn about money. And those are the main ones. And let's see. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Another super big one. I read this one super, super early on, and I still have it there. I've read this book twice now because of how valuable it is. These types of things that you learn in here. Like Dale Carnegie, he was relatively old when he wrote this book. And he's passing down. It's only, I forget how many pages. It looks like it's only about 300. You can consume that in 10 hours. And with that, you're getting all the valuable knowledge from this guy who you can use and implement into your life immediately. It's not like you have to spend the 40 years that he did to learn all this. You implement it immediately. And you don't want to read books just to read them. Read the things that are valuable. Maybe skim through other parts and consume and reread. Take notes. Figure out how you can implement the valuable parts. And it will massively, massively help you. I have quite a bit of books back here. The Psychology of Money. When I said learn about money, this is a super, super good one to start with. I'd recommend it. I have one back here that's honestly the one that changed my perspective the most. The Creature from Jekyll Island. This book is ridiculous. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's about how the Federal Reserve came to be, and how it was pretty much the best business model ever created. And if you don't know, you got to learn more about that because there were 5 families that owned about 60% of the entire global net worth was in these 5 families. They met on an island, thought of the best business plan in the history, which is reserve banking, where they pretty much loan the banks the money that they give out to people, and they make money off the interest. It costs them a fraction of a cent to print these $100 bills, then they give them out to people, and they immediately have $100. And then when they pay back the interest on these loans, they're profiting like 100%. It's absolutely ridiculous, this business model. And it's money. It's the same as modern day money. After we moved from the gold standard, pretty much everybody just got fucked. But I'm not going to go too deep into that. Read that book. It's amazing. Immediately, this was the first book I read about I don't even consider that self-improvement, but it's just about money. That completely changed my perspective on the world, everything, money, the government, absolutely everything. Amazing, amazing book. And these types of books, like I've only showed you about 10 books here. If you read these 10 books, you would be a completely different person after you read them than you were before. And that is going to massively play a part into your business. Let me see. I have some other books here. The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. Huge book. Huge self-improvement book. How to be a man. It's genuinely how to be a man in your masculine essence, in its true form. And so those are only a few books there. Other really good ones that I've read. Managing Oneself. That's Ty Lopez's #1 recommended book. Absolutely insane book. It's to know what type of learner you are so you can maximize how efficiently you learn. Another one, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. That's a super, super good book as well. That's also what pushed me to start posting content. And as you can see, I post about 20 pieces of content a day across platforms, and I highly recommend you do the same. And all of these things I wouldn't have done if I didn't read these books and I didn't consume this knowledge. I'm also reading just the 5th edition psychology textbook. Ty Lopez recommended it. It's super great. You just learn about psychology, right? It's like I was forced to read textbooks in university, and it sucked. But now I'm reading textbooks that I actually want, and I'm consuming the knowledge that's valuable. I'm not reading the whole textbook, I'm reading a good majority of it and skimming through other parts. But the stuff that's valuable, I can learn, implement, test out, see if it's valuable. If it is, awesome, I gain something. If it's not, whatever, I'm in the same spot, and I go read more, and I learn more. So it's as simple as that. Like, genuinely read, but you cannot mentally masturbate yourself because you're reading these books and you're not doing anything with it. It's completely pointless and just a redundant waste of time. So I highly recommend all these books I showed here. To be honest, I would start with The Creature from Jekyll Island to just pretty much completely shatter your entire perspective of money and the global economy, because this is how money works everywhere. The family's scattered all around the world and set up in different parts of the world, pretty much running the entire banking system to what it is today. That'll shatter your entire perspective on money. I'd recommend How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'd recommend Atomic Habits. Those are good starting ones. And then after those three, I'd read The Way of the Superior Man, if you're a man. And those four, you'll have a super good foundation. And then read Reality Transurfing. And again, you'll shatter your entire perspective on life and ultimately become a different person and scale to another level. So guys, seriously, like, I know I'm joking a bit on these. I'm half joking a bit as I'm going through these, but these books genuinely changed me as a person, changed my entire life. And when I say, the title of this video is going to be How Books Allowed Me to Scale to $50K a Month. And that is a very accurate title. These books play a massive part in me being able to scale our agency, and I would not have been able to do it as quickly without these books and all the knowledge I gained from them. Like, let me turn my camera a bit, but as you can see here, like, that's a stack of like 10 books right there. Look how much knowledge that is. That's like 3,000 pages of knowledge from a ton of people have experienced combined amongst these authors, 500 years of life experience, and you can consume it. That's probably, it's quite a bit of reading, probably 200 hours of reading, but that's how much knowledge you can gain that quickly just from that. Tell me that's not worth it. So guys, these books are a massive part of how I was able to scale my agency to $50K a month, and I would not have been able to do it as quickly without these books. Go ahead, read these books. It'll change your life, change your perspective, and allow you to scale a lot faster. And so guys, if you don't read, it's going to slow you down. I'm going to keep reading, and I'm going to scale to $250,000 a month. So I'll see you at the top.